Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host Doug Weishuttle. And congratulations to the Washington Nationals' first ever pennant, first ever trip to the World Series. Congratulations, Washington.
The former Montreal Expos team.
Yeah, that's where they came from. It's wow, we got a great show, a great week. Terrible week if you're a sports bettor, because a lot of bettors across this country really took a bath this week. I mean, with Dallas losing,
Miami.
And by the way, this is the last time I'm ever picking the Los Angeles Chargers for anything, because they
well, how about Miami scoring that last
I know, Miami covered. Congratulations. Yeah. If you put money on Miami, you actually won some money.
Nearly a complete Fitzmagic moment, but they couldn't do the 2-point conversion at the end there, so they lost by 1 point. But a lot of bettors took a bath on that. The books made out pretty good this past week.
Very good. Well, we got a great show coming up. As always, we want to have the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. But before that, we're going to have part 2 of my interview with Adam Small from USBets. We're going to talk about the Mike Postel poker incident in Sacramento, California.
Yeah, last week he was on to talk about the Flutter Stars Group deal. Now we're switching gears to the alleged cheating scandal. That was the live stream poker game over at the Stones Gambling Hall in Sacramento.
Very, very interesting. And to close up the show, we're going to have our all-important picks, which I went 1 and 2. I was one of the bettors that did terrible this weekend.
I did 1-1-1.
Yeah, you know what? The Jets saved me. I went with the over in the Jets-Dallas game, so that saved me. But like I said, it was a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. And today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. Now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Well, we're going to start off with some tidbits out of the sports betting industry. UFC has partnered with IMG Arena to do a new product called the UFC Event Center. Basically, it's a data and statistical package all in one that sports books, both mobile and retail, would have to purchase the data stream and all the rights to the logos and images from USC and the names and all that to incorporate it into their betting lines.
So this is the official package that the UFC is going to give to the sports books and the sports, I guess the online sports books as well.
Normally what happens is a sports entity would partner with 1 or 2 different places to do data and also trademarks and all that other stuff. But UFC's decided to go with IMG Arena, do it all in one shot. They've come up with 20 new in-game wagers covering things like number of takedown attempts, knockdowns, how many strikes were landed, the amount of time a fighter spends on the mat. Mm-hmm. So it's a one-stop shop where people would have to pay a license fee to get the software. And
not the people, but the sports
books would have to pay to get a license fee to get the software and the data, and then they would have to turn over a share of the gross gaming revenue to the UFC for accessing this data.
Interesting.
So it's a good package the UFC is offering.
Perfectly
the UFC
honest,
Event Center.
I got to tell you, I like UFC. I think it's a great sport, but I've never placed a bet on it. I like watching it. I just don't know too much about it to make an informed decision about what's going on.
Yeah, it's one of those things. MMA is something I'm starting to get into, and it's all over the place. UFC's got that huge deal with ESPN. Parks Casino did a deal with the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA, and I love the way this is phrased. The Parks is now the official winning partner of the Sixers. Not the betting partner, not the gaming partner, but the winning partner.
I like that. That's good. We were just at Parks last week. It's absolutely an amazing sports book. Beautiful. It's huge.
Yep.
Huge.
So what this deal is, again, they're the official winning partner of the Sixers, and they're going to be running this Win for All promotion for their online and mobile sports betting customers. They're going to be getting a $25 bonus for each Sixers win up to the 25th game of the season.
All right.
So players on the Parks mobile and online sites for sports betting will be getting $25 for each win. Bonus money. Up until the 25th game. And then after that, they're going to be getting a $1 bonus corresponding to the total number of wins the Sixers have for the season.
Okay. So this is a year-long thing or a season-long thing. Yeah, okay.
The potential for players in terms of how much they can earn for bonuses over the season, Parks figured it out to be $1,840 in bonuses.
Okay.
That's if the Sixers match their win total from last year. They're anticipating 81, 82 wins, that sort of thing. Maybe more. I'm sorry. That's 82.
Yeah,
no.
They might be undefeated then.
Sorry. I misspoke there. They're anticipating the win total to be matched. I think it was 41, 42. Why would I saying 81 or whatever it was? But sorry about that. And also one restriction, players must reside within 150 miles of Philadelphia.
Great. All right.
And two things with regards to Fox and Fox Bet. Fox Bet and MLB entered into a deal for Fox Bet to be the authorized gaming operator of Major League Baseball. Basically, it's the data and trademark deal. They're going to be able to put it, Fox Bet is going to be able to have all the MLB data and marks across all their platforms in the free-to-play game they have. And Fox Sports also announced that they are going to be launching a new show on their Facebook Watch page.
Which, by the way, I thought it was, you just go to Facebook, but this is something different. It's Facebook Watch. I guess it's part of Facebook?
It's part of Facebook.
Okay, I didn't know that.
When you log into Facebook, there's a little thing, a little entry on the column where it says Facebook Watch. You click that on, it goes to Facebook Watch. They're going to be launching...
So if you go to Facebook and you follow Fox Sports, or you like Fox Sports, will it automatically go to Facebook Watch if you
No, they'll have a link somewhere for it.
All right.
But they're going to be launching The People versus Colin Cowherd.
Okay.
If you can't get enough of Colin Cowherd, you're going to get even more here. So basically, it's a game that they're going to be playing against the audience.
Well, it's him and Jason McIntyre, which I like.
Jason McIntyre's good.
He's very good. I see him on the FanDuel has a show, which, More Ways to Win.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it this year yet, and he used to be on it, so I don't know if he's still on it or what.
Well, he will be on Facebook Watch with Colin Cowherd.
Right.
It's a game where they're going to be playing against the fans.
So
which
fans
teams
can
will
vote?
cover the spread.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Odds are going to be provided by Fox Bet.
Which is everywhere, man. Wait, when you
watch any Fox thing.
Yeah, I watched Lock It In, and I think they get all their odds from Fox Bet.
Well, it's a Fox show.
Well, it's a Fox show, so it
Fox
makes
Sports,
sense.
yeah. So it's and you see all the promos that Fox Bet runs with Colin Cowherd and the guys from Lock It In, all that stuff.
Exit 2.
We had basically a freak out this past weekend with regard to Fortnite players.
I have to tell you, I was watching the football games, and I look at Twitter to see what's going on in the other games that maybe I missed. And apparently, Twitter exploded with regard to Fortnite.
Well, not only Twitter, but Twitch went down.
Okay.
The Fortnite Twitch page
I don't
went
have
down.
Twitch on my phone.
But what happened was this was the end of Fortnite 10, the 10th season of the Fortnite game, and everybody was playing along at the end. And Friday, the owner of the game, Epic, the creator of the game, Epic Games, tweeted out the cryptic phrase, "The end is near." Then on Sunday, they followed that up with "This is the end," and then right there at that point, the entire map blew up.
Okay.
Supposedly, I don't know the ins and outs of the game. It takes place on an island, and in the middle of the island of Season 10, there was a meteor. So what happened was the meteor blew up or struck or whatever they do with it, and it sucked the island into it and created this black hole where all you could do for several hours was just watch the black hole. And no one knew what to do. No one knew what was going on. Everyone was thinking it was going to be, this is how they're going to launch the next season of Fortnite. They were anticipating something like this, obviously, but panicked a lot of players for at least a couple of days. Sunday it went down. Tuesday, they had the black hole start sucking in other players. It started playing a teaser trailer of the new season. And at the end of this trailer, where they were also showing some new functions for the game, which are kind of interesting, players were sucked in, and then they fell out of the black hole on the other side onto a brand new island.
Oh, well. I don't know anything about that, but all I know is it was trending on Sunday, and everyone was freaking out on Twitter. And I didn't know I even followed anything with regard to Fortnite, but people were talking about it. People who probably weren't even connected with Fortnite were mentioning it.
6 million people watched the black hole event.
Wow. Well,
and it crashed the Twitch page for Fortnite. It also caused a huge amount of traffic on the Reddit pages for Fortnite. So everybody was talking about it. They got what they wanted. They launched the new season. Everybody's happy. They've got new features. One of them is you can assist another player with a kill in the game. They never had that before. So they're getting more and more interaction between the players now with the new season.
Exit 3.
Okay, if you're a fan of soccer and you just want to watch something different than just a typical soccer game, you might have something coming your way in a year or two here. According to Variety, Sky Blue Academy is coming.
I don't know what that is.
It's a soccer cartoon.
It's a soccer cartoon. All right.
It's an animated series. I'm sorry, you can't say cartoons anymore. It's an animated series set inside the academy, the training academy of the English Premier League champions Manchester City.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to follow a bunch of boys and girls living in the academy, learning to play soccer, learning teamwork, loyalty. Basically, let's see, the club's stated values: discipline, teamwork, and inclusiveness. They're not going to have any of the current players as part of the animated series because, number one, it takes forever to do an animated series, and by that time you have a lot of players switching teams or leaving or retiring. Seasons are going to be over, that sort of thing. Games are not going to be happening. So none of the current players are going to be part of the series. The other issue is the image rights for players.
I got to tell you, this is not new. I mean, I remember growing up, we in New Jersey, we were very close to Philadelphia, and they had a animated cartoon of Swoop, which was the Philadelphia Eagles mascot. So I guess it's something new, something like that. That's kind of connected with the
right. It's
team.
aimed at 8 to 11-year-olds.
It's a great way to get younger people involved in the team. So good for them.
And it's going to be a combination of hand-drawn animation with CGI.
All right.
Oh, and to your point, besides the Eagles, the Jets did one too.
Oh, that's right. Wait.
It was on Saturday mornings, as a matter of fact.
What was it called? Something Jets. Something. I can't remember.
Don't ask me because I never watched it.
But the New York Jets had one.
A lot of
teams Philadelphia
have
Eagles had one.
The
Giants never had one.
No, Giants don't do anything.
Okay.
Exit 4.
And we always hear people talking about making everything online, whether it's a store, whether it's some kind of game or whatever. And brick and mortar seems to be passé, except for the major sports leagues. And Major League Baseball is joining the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL in New York by having its first ever retail brick and mortar store.
That's interesting. I guess I'm assuming it's in New York since
Midtown Manhattan.
MLB is in New York, so why wouldn't they have it in New York?
It's going to be located right across the street from Radio City Music Hall.
Oh wait, there's a is MSG across the street? It's not
Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, it's because I remember that they're sitting there and they're talking. They have a glass thing right a glass stage, and you can see Radio City Music Hall. I think it's.
I know
MSG.
I know NBC had some stuff there, some studios there. So, but MLB is going to be opening a 17,000 square foot flagship store across the street from Radio City Music Hall, and it's going to have a wide variety of licensed products from all the clubs and historical franchises in the Cooperstown collection.
Okay.
So you're going to see some old-fashioned teams, old-fashioned baseball outfits, that sort of stuff.
Great.
Authentic game-used memorabilia. They're also going to have New York City-themed products and customizable options, too.
Okay.
So they're going to be doing a lot of things. They're moving their headquarters into the store, too, into the building that has the store.
That makes sense.
And they're also going to have an adjacent courtyard where they're going to have events and other marketing activation events, experiences, whatever you want to call them.
Great. By the way, it's SNY. It's across the street. That's right. MSG would be in Madison Square Garden. SNY is across the street from the Radio City Music Hall.
Isn't that amazing how those initials work out?
I know, yeah, right? And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, get in touch with Turnpike Sports. Call or text the show, 609-512-5910. Facebook and Twitter, you can find us at Turnpike Sports on both of those. Our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. You can subscribe to the show via iTunes, iHeartMedia, Stitcher Radio. We have a YouTube channel. You can also find Turnpike on the radio.com mobile app, so you can subscribe to us there as well. And don't forget Smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the link for the Smart TV channel.
And stick around, because after this is part 2 of my interview with Adam Small from USBets.com. We're going to talk about the Mike Postel poker situation coming out of the Stones Gambling Hall near Sacramento, California. And then after that, we're going to have the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. And then to end it all up will be our picks. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from Turnpike Sports with this week's Bet Flash. Parks Casino in Pennsylvania has inked a deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Under the deal, Parks will be called the official winning partner of the Sixers. Parks will offer a win-for-all online sports betting promotion where bettors will earn bonus money for team wins. The Indiana Gaming Control Commission has released its first monthly report of the state's sports betting industry. In the month of September, Indiana took in over $35 million worth of bets, which gave the state $8.5 million in revenue. And finally, Fox Sports has added more sports betting content to its Facebook Watch page. Colin Cowherd and Jason McIntyre will host a show called The People vs. Colin Cowherd, where fans will be able to vote on the point spreads of different games. The odds on those games will be provided by the network's mobile sports betting platform, FoxBet. From the seaside to the desert, from the betting lines to the sites online, Turnpike Sports has got you covered. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Turnpike Sports.
Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use the offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weishuttle with you here. There was a very interesting poker game that was live streamed out of California that's causing an uproar in the gambling community. And as always, to keep us updated on what's going on in the gambling world, we have Adam Small from USBets.com. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's awesome to be back on the show after a while.
Since you're one of the creators of PocketFives.com, you're the perfect person to ask. And, of course, I'm talking about the alleged cheating that went on at the Stones Gambling Hall outside of Sacramento, where, again, it's been alleged that it was discovered during a live streaming poker game that Mike Postel displayed some questionable conduct. I just want to get your take on what you've seen and what you've heard about the incident.
Sure. I was going to say, I haven't heard anything about this, right? But I don't think anyone believes that. It's all-consuming. Twitter, and it made it all the way to ESPN, Sports Center. It's kind of unbelievable because when you think of all the sort of the historical scandals and, cheating allegations and other things that have happened in poker, this isn't really, from my perspective, even I don't know, certainly not in the top 5 that I've seen over the last 15 years in terms of just the impact of it. Mm-hmm. But we're talking a 6-figure impact, which is certainly more than nothing, but it's not, it's not a massive amount of money. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. The allegations.
Well, let me tell you, is it a big story, not because of the, amount of money involved, but just the alleged brazenness of the conduct?
Yeah. I think that's what's so fascinating about it. I think that's what is so captivating because clearly people are captivated. Joey Ingram is live streaming videos at 1 o'clock in the morning and has 10,000 people tuned in.
Let me tell you something. Joey Ingram is giving a classroom on poker. It's just absolutely amazing, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, he's on the USBets podcast, Gamble On, as well, to talk about this today the day we're recording, October 10th. So people want to check that out. They can hear Joey talk to John Brennan and Eric Raskin about it. But yeah, just getting back to the scandal. So, it's really interesting. Mike Postel, the person in question who, I think at this point there are very few people that actually doubt that he's cheated in some way. But he's a guy that I've known for more than 15 years. We met all the way back in 2004. He used to live in Tunica, and I was living in Nashville. It's not too far away. And so we used to catch up at poker tournaments and down there sometimes, and definitely someone I thought of as a friend for many years. We've had some sporadic contact over the years, although I haven't seen him in a long time. And he was kind of one of these original pros on ultimatebet.com and on some other online poker sites that back before that was really developed, before online poker was really developed like it is today, when things were kind of just sprouting up. He was one of the early winners, someone who already had some experience playing poker and was a successful player, was definitely a winning player. Played a lot online in those days and also a lot live. And so he was a known player and has been a known player in poker for a long time. And I don't think, I don't know that he really was associated with any really bad behavior before this. I don't think that he was, I don't think that he had anything other than maybe just kind of a neutral reputation in the community. He was friends with a lot of players, but I would say his reputation was just kind of neutral. He was just one of the guys that was there, that was playing. And then this thing comes out, and it's clearer and clearer as more evidence comes out that he was up to no good out there in Sacramento, that he, figured out some way to get real-time information about opponents' cards, and that he wasn't even really trying that hard to conceal it. Just wasn't even really thinking through what it would be like if anyone caught wind of it, because he just with all the laughing after winning hands and just how brazen his win rate was with all this that he was doing and doing it time and time again, looking at his phone in his lap and all that. It seems like he's a person who thought there was no way he would ever get caught. And that's interesting to me, just because I think that, if I were trying to be a criminal and engage in behavior that would lead to kind of effectively stealing money from people, that I'd probably be really nervous about it going in and trying to do it in a way that wouldn't attract attention to me. But it just seems like, he wasn't really that clever about it. And it's interesting because, it's really bizarre to see. He did get away with it for a long time, and nobody noticed. Just because we're all so predisposed to believing that the game is fair when we're playing at a casino. Like we're just very predisposed to believe that if we're getting beat by someone, it's because they're better than us and not because something else is going on. And it takes, it's difficult with that inertia to get to the point where someone is just like, wait, something's wrong here, right?
Yeah, it seems like the viewers of the live stream that raised some of the concerns regarding the poker game. From your understanding, what were they seeing that threw up the red flags in their minds?
Well, so it was Veronica, I think Veronica Brill is her name, the broadcaster who kind of originally noticed it. And it's very clear she's been watching him for months, and it hadn't hit her, and it all kind of hit her in one moment. Like they all seemed to have this belief on the air that he was just so good that he was picking people off all the time. And he is a good poker player. Like he's someone that's had a reputation as a strong player for years and years. But I think that, they're just watching, they're like, wow, how does he do it? He's so solid. Like same way you watch Phil Ivey or one of these guys when they play and they just keep making the right moves, clever moves over and over again. And at some point it was like the light bulb turning on when you watch a cartoon, just like the proverbial, like the light bulb flicks on. She's watching and she sees that one hand, I can't even remember what the cards were in that specific hand, but it's the one where she kind of had that discovery and her co-host is droning on about, oh, Postel's just God and he's just incredible and how does he do it over and over and over again. And she's you can see she's just uncomfortable all of a sudden, like it all hit her like a ton of bricks at once. Like, holy crap, he's not that good. He's just cheating. Like, it was like she had a moment of clarity on it. That's what I saw there. Like you can see it kind of in her face and in her tone of voice, where all of a sudden it's not fascination with how well this guy's playing anymore. It's an instinct that something is off, that something's wrong, that he shouldn't be able to do this time and time again, where every single time he's right. And it's interesting because with online. The way that they caught those guys on UB and Absolute Poker years ago, the super users, was that they had stats. People were tracking the games on Poker Tracker and could see the win rates and could see how wrong these win rates were. Before they got, the leaked hand histories and the leaked, information that made it easier to analyze, they had this information from people's tracking that there were accounts that were winning at rates that didn't make any sense. And with live poker, you just don't really have that. Like, unless someone is watching this stream and documenting it every single day, you just don't have that kind of information. And it does mean that this kind of thing might be easier to get away with for a while until it's not, right?
Yeah, I know just recently a lawsuit was filed as well. I guess it's $10 million that the plaintiffs are looking for. I guess they cited the owner of the gambling hall, the director who was running the game. You've been around poker rooms a lot. What is the responsibility of the poker room in this situation?
Well, I think the responsibility of the poker room is huge. The reason that the people there believe the game is fair is because of the casino or because of the poker room. You don't go to a game at someone's house that you don't know and assume that it's 100% fair. Or if you do, you're kind of naive because, I've played at some underground games. I played some around here in Atlanta where I live, and I played at them in Nashville and elsewhere. Games that, are not regulated but are just kind of house games being run with a rake. And I've been to ones that seem But in a casino, you never expect that. You don't think about it at all. I don't remember any time where I've ever been sitting in a game and the Wynn or the Bellagio or, whatever place, and, even Tunica or whatever, where I felt like I wasn't 100% sure that the game was fair. It just never even occurred to me that I might, not have the same opportunity to win as everyone else at the table. And I mean, that's the legitimacy that the regulated poker room in California lends to that game. Their job is to make sure that the game is as everyone believes it to be and not something else. And so I believe that, if there is a financial penalty to pay for this, whether via lawsuit or via fine or whatever else, that the casino is going to be a major responsible party, if not the responsible party in this. Players cheat, and there will be consequences for that, or there certainly should be. Mm-hmm. But the casino is the one that's really in charge of making sure that doesn't happen, and they drop the ball big time here.
I know a lot of people in poker and even esports, and they do a lot of live streaming through Twitch. Now, I don't know too much about Twitch, but do you think in this situation it highlights some of the problems or potential pitfalls entities may have when live streaming either poker or esports for their events?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's making a lot of people take a step back and second guess, just how good these kinds of things are for the game. I'm very much the belief that they are good for the game. I think Twitch and just live streaming generally has been huge for poker. I mean, you're seeing the World Series of Poker main event growing now again pretty nicely year over year, and you're watching it really for the last couple of years. For the first time, you're watching it in live action on TV or on Poker Go or whatever, and I think people love that. I think people like watching the game as it's happening, just like with sports or like soon after it's happening, but watching it in real time, watching the hands play out one after the other, even if it's boring for periods of time and there aren't like these huge action hands like you used to have on, watching the World Poker Tour or whatever. I think people just enjoy this form of poker more, just watching it how it's really happening. That's just an evolution in the way people like to watch poker. And I don't think that's going to change because of a scandal. I do think that people take a step back and wonder and worry about it, and maybe are less comfortable with RFID tables or with live streaming or whatever else. And I think that it's going to be on the operators, on the casinos, and whoever else is running these games, and whoever's in charge of these live streams, and just all of the different kind of access points to these games, that they're going to have to assure people. They're going to have to find a way to make people feel comfortable that this is secure, that the game that they're playing, I mean, it's Stone's gambling. We're talking about a pretty small stakes game, really, in the scheme of things. But, if you're playing a tournament with millions of dollars on the line, or a high stakes cash game or whatever else, players are going to need to know that it's fair. They're going to need to know that this massive financial swing that they could take in one way or the other in this game is based on the rules as they believe they are, and not a game where some players are playing one game and other players are playing another. So I don't think that this stuff's going away, but I do think that there's going to have to be some work done on the security side.
I know the Poker Room just hired a former U.S. prosecutor to investigate the matter, so I guess the story is far from being over. Is this one of those news stories that's going to last a long time, and what do you think the ramifications in the poker community that this incident will bring about?
Yeah, I think it's going to last a long time. I don't think that people are going to forget about Mike Postel and this situation next week. I think that probably there's going to be more investigation of where else these games are happening, and if similar is going on elsewhere. I think there's going to be more and more skepticism about these games, especially in smaller venues, and just what the oversight is like and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I think that this story is going to have legs. It's going to, I'm guessing, be resolved legally one way or the other. I mean, and on that note, by the way, I mean, before I kind of completely move off this, I think it's important to say that for people expecting a resolution that, in effect punishes someone, whether it's the casino people involved in cheating, Postle, whoever he's working with, etc. I think that people need to understand that despite the fact that I think we're all pretty sure that this happened, it hasn't been proven. Certainly not. I mean, you're a lawyer, right, Dave?
Yeah.
It just hasn't been proven. There's no, you can't just say his win rate was higher than other people's. I don't think that would work in a court of law. So you can't say this is how I think he did it. You're going to have to figure out actually what happened and be able to prove that, and be able to prove that there was, impropriety. So I think there's still a ways to go just in terms of investigating. I think the investigation is still kind of pending until they figure out how exactly he did it, where he got the information, how he was getting it, and who else was involved, and some kind of way to really prove what happened. And until then, we'll still have opportunistic people like Mike Matisow who want to come out and say ridiculous things like, you're getting an unfair treatment and all this, and nothing's been proven, and, spinning it the way they want to, really probably for their own reasons. I think it's pretty clear Matisow just wanted attention, and that's fine, whatever. But I think that the door is going to stay open for that kind of stuff until someone is able to concretely prove what happened. And, of course, bringing that back to your question, I think that will help with how this is dealt with elsewhere, because once you know how he cheated, it's going to be easier to prevent that happening in the future.
Let me tell you something. If I was a lawyer in this case, I would call Joey Ingram as an expert witness, because he basically lays it all out in Twitter.
I'll tell you what, I think Joey Ingram is incredible.
Absolutely.
I think he's a terrific guy. I've met him in person a couple times, and I've been on his podcast, and we've talked a lot over the last few years. I think he's awesome. I think there's a reason that so many people follow him and like him, and it's because he's tireless in pursuit of this kind of story. Like, he's someone that everybody feels they can trust, that everyone feels like will give a fair shake to the story and will, portray it honestly. But also, I believe that Joey, if he wanted to, could be an incredible investigative reporter for a more traditional journalistic outlet. If he were so inclined, I just think he's got that ability, that natural ability to figure out what is noise and what is actual substantive information, and to get to the bottom of these stories in ways that I think most of us find incredibly difficult, to take all this different information and compile it in a way that actually gives us clarity on a situation. So I'm really thankful that he's out there working on these kind of things. The work Doug Polk has done is good too. But Joey in particular, to me, just is really like he's taken it upon himself that it's his responsibility to figure out what people need to know about this story, what's important here, and get that information out to the public. And he's doing it in a way that no one else really seems capable of. So, kudos to him. He's really done incredible work here, and he's done incredible work for years on a number of things for the community, but this is a big one.
And he's going to be on the Gamble On podcast, too. So.
Yes, sir, he is. Yeah, by the time anyone hears this show, it'll already be on there. So
okay, great.
Check it out at usbets.com.
Adam, we're running out of time, but I want to remind everyone that they can keep up to date with these developing gambling and sports betting news stories at usbets.com. They have some of the best writers in the country covering the casino and sports betting world. Adam Small, as always, thanks for coming on and keeping us up to date on what's going on in the casinos and the sports books.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's awesome to be back. This was really fun. Thanks.
Always great having you. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
A real abandoned prison in Philadelphia becomes the #1 haunted attraction in America. Terror Behind the Walls at Eastern State Penitentiary, presented by Lukoil. Are you brave enough to opt in for a more intense experience? You could be grabbed, sent into hidden passageways, and even separated from your group. This is terror like you've never felt. Save $10 with coupons from any Lukoil location. TerrorBehindTheWalls.com. Turnpike Sports Book Report.
And the Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, last couple of weeks we've been doing the book report, talking about specific notable bets, all that stuff that were happening around the country. But this past week we had 4 states release their numbers.
Lots of numbers being released. And how about New Jersey?
Well, before I get to that,
oh, come on. Get to
Pennsylvania has not released their numbers at the time we're doing this show.
Okay.
So we'll cover them next week because they should be coming out the next day or so anyway. But we have New Jersey setting another record.
New record. New statewide record, I guess.
An online handle of 374.2 million. That's the online handle. 84% of the total handle, which was $445.6 million. That's an incredible amount of handle.
Yep.
Previous record was set in January of 2019 of 385.3 million. They blew by that.
Mm-hmm. I have to tell you, we haven't gotten Vegas's or Nevada's numbers yet. So
is it Nevada or Nevada?
I don't know. I say Nevada.
Well, either way, they're probably not going to beat this number. So
you think so? I don't know. It's
445.6 million total handle.
I don't know.
That's a huge number right there, especially for New Jersey. I mean, 84%.
Well, New Jersey has the population size behind it. So
it's also got New York kicking over, and
sure.
also even probably still Pennsylvania's coming over too.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We like I said, we don't have Nevada's numbers yet, so I'm curious to see how New Jersey did in terms of those numbers.
But like I said, online was 84% of the total handle. The land base came in with $71.3 million of handle.
Wow.
So online is king in New Jersey still, and a lot of states are starting to take notice of that. I know. What was that? Massachusetts mentioned that they're looking into it, and they're going to look at the New Jersey model for their stuff. Connecticut's doing the same thing, it looks like. We'll see exactly how many other states follow this. I mean, a lot of states are liking what's happening in New Jersey.
Sure.
New York has reported their numbers for September. Mm-hmm. The 4 licensed sports betting operators took in a combined $2.3 million in revenue, which was up over 175% month-on-month here. Mm-hmm. So they're growing by leaps and bounds.
Well,
here.
September was the first month of the NFL, and college football was in full swing, and baseball playoffs were coming up.
Well, baseball was ending, too.
Well, yeah. So, but it's, October should be even more because there are more sports.
And can you
hockey
imagine
and basketball to be thrown into that mix?
And if the Yankees make the World Series,
well, we'll see.
I don't know what they're doing there, but again, there's still no online wagering in New York,
which is crazy.
And you can only go to northwest New York State, Western New York.
You have to place bets in upstate New York.
Physical sports betting, retail sports books. There's no online yet.
Nothing really near Manhattan in the state of New York. You have to go over to the FanDuel Sportsbook.
I think the closest New York book to New York City is about 4 or 5 hours away.
In the state,
yeah, New York. New Jersey, just hop over the bridge and go right to FanDuel.
Go FanDuel, or Monmouth is even close, too.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Not too bad.
Or you could just cross the line and go into Pennsylvania and do some online stuff, too.
Yep.
So New York's got to start moving ahead with this stuff. We'll see how long it takes them to get going. Iowa has posted their first full month numbers for the month of September. $40 million in sports wagers were recorded in Iowa for the month of September. The handle was $38.5 million, just under 40. Net revenue was $4.9 million. So they're moving ahead with everything. They had 15 of 18 casinos had sports betting.
Great.
So they're moving ahead. Nearly 57% of the sports betting handle arrived online. So this is another state showing that online is the more preferable way for bettors to place bets, it looks like. it's starting to move ahead in that direction. Let's see. The Prairie Meadows had $14.5 million in sports betting handle. 89% of that came from mobile betting.
Wow. Boy.
For that one casino, their app, the Prairie Meadows mobile betting app.
Good for them.
So that was 4 times larger than anybody. The next one in the list for sports betting.
So Prairie Meadows is the king
for this past September.
Okay,
we'll see if it changes. But again, they're just launching. That was their first full month. They did great. Indiana also released their first month.
This is their
numbers.
first report too, because
exactly.
They just started.
And before I even give this number, this does not include any online sports betting.
Okay.
They have not released online sports betting numbers yet.
It's their first month. They're getting in order. And
they're going to release the numbers according to the Gaming Commission. They're supposed to be releasing the data on online sports betting in November for the first month.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so I think they're being careful with that.
Okay.
Indiana brought in $35.2 million in sports wagers during their first full month.
And this is only physical betting. This is only retail. brick and mortar sports books, right?
Right.
Okay.
The hold was $8.6 million. Not that bad for first month. Horseshoe Hammond Casino took in $8.98 million in sports wagers, the most in the state. Ameristar East Chicago. I don't know why they call it East Chicago. They're in Indiana.
New Jersey has a West New York. The city's called
true.
West New York.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Different. Ameristar East came in second, $5.4 million. Hollywood Casino in Lawrenceburg accepted $5.2 million. And one of the OTBs came in. The Winter Circle in downtown Indianapolis took in $3.1 million in sports wagers.
Okay.
So we have an OTB coming in fourth place in Indiana.
Good for Indiana. And the Turnpike Sports Book Report was brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Stick around because after this we have our picks. I didn't do too well like most of the gamblers in this country last week, but Doug, you did pretty well. So we're going to sort it all out with our picks coming up with more Turnpike Sports after this. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at BeanGenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to BeanGenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. And this portion of Turnpike Sports is brought to you by PointsBet.com. PointsBet has one of the best sign-up offers in New Jersey. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code PIKE. That's P-I-K-E. And when you deposit $50, you'll receive a bonus of $100. That's deposit $50, and you bet with $150. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code PIKE and start having some real fun. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I have to admit, one other thing I like about PointsBet, since they're sponsoring the segment here, they're when you do the football games and you do the money line bet, and whoever scores the first touchdown, if it's your team, you win that bet, even if you lose the game.
Regardless of if you lose the game. That's pretty cool.
That's I like that. So that's one other little thing you can look at, promo for PointsBet. For the pick segment, as always, we do 3 games each. They'll be up on the Turnpike Sports blog. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button. They'll be up after this show posts. And, again, we pick 3 games, spread, over-under, that sort of thing. So why don't we go ahead and start talking about this? I went 1-1-1 last week. I had a push. The Chargers.
You know what? The only one I won was the Jets. I took the over in the Dallas Jets game, and that was the only one that saved me.
I have to admit, I did.
Good for the Jets, by the way.
Unofficially, I did a bet on the Jets +7.
Yes.
It doesn't count for the show.
That was a smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
So, but I did. I never bet on the Jets. I did it one time just as a lark here, and it worked out because Darnold came back and threw for 71% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, all that stuff. So, All right, let's get going on this week. Go ahead. You can go first.
Okay, my first game is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Rams are 3 points favorites with an over-under of 54. Now, let me tell you something. Sean McVay has lost 3 in a row, and he's never done that before, but I think the bleeding stops now for the Rams because this is basically a must-win to save their season. I mean, and then the secondary for the Rams have gotten better with Jalen Ramsey, and Atlanta Falcons have not been impressive at all. So I'm taking the Rams and laying the points.
Okay, I did this game too.
Oh, okay.
I had a little different reasoning here.
All right.
Rams, right now, you're right. This is a must-win. They're playing terrible offensively anyway. Their defense is still good. But
well, they got better.
Especially with Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if he's still going to be playing because he's still got the back issue. I don't know if he's actually going to see the field this weekend. But the Rams are 4-2 against the spread, 3-0 against the spread on the road. The Falcons are interesting. I was looking these up. They're 1-1 against the spread at home this year, but overall they're 8-1 against the spread as home dogs, and they're a home dog here. The last 5 games against the Falcons, the Rams have also lost. They're 0-5 straight up against the Falcons over the last 5. As bad as the Falcons are playing, I'm going with the Falcons.
All right. Oh, you want me to do it? I thought. This is your. That was your game too. I'm going with the next game is the Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Lions. The Minnesota Vikings are a 1-point favorite, and the over/under is 45. Last week, both teams showed me something last week with the Vikings beating the Eagles and the Lions in their close game against the Packers. I think this has all the makings of a shootout, which means lots of scoring. So with the over/under being 45, I'm taking the over in this game.
Okay. My next game is the 49ers at Washington Redskins. Niners are favored by 10 points, and the over-under is 41.5. The San Francisco's 3-0 against the spread on the road this year. Redskins are basically just playing for the first or second draft pick of next year's draft, it looks like. Yeah. They're 0-3 against the spread as home dogs, which they are here. And I have to admit, this is a game the Niners should win easily, and they need to win easily if they're going to be seriously considered as contenders. I don't care if they're undefeated, but right now there's some question marks as to whether or not they're real contenders. I'm actually doing the 49ers with the 10 points there.
Oh, you're laying the 10 points.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And my last game is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Jaguars are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 43.5. Both these teams have struggled this year, and Jacksonville became a little weaker in the secondary with the loss of Jalen Ramsey. However, I still think they have enough to get by the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm taking the Jaguars and laying the points.
Okay, yeah. I don't know exactly how the Jaguars defense. I almost took this game too, but I stayed away from it because of the Jalen Ramsey trade. So I don't know exactly how their defense is going to be without him, and it'll be interesting to see. I decided to do the Baltimore Ravens at the Seattle Seahawks game. Seattle's favored by 3.5. There's an over/under of 50.5. I found this interesting when I was doing some research. Seattle's 0-3 against the spread as home favorites this year. They've never beaten the spread. And Baltimore is 0-1 against the spread as a road dog. Both teams are playing good. Both defenses are great. Surprisingly, it's the offenses for both of these teams this year that are doing extremely well, and Seattle's got basically an MVP candidate, if not the MVP of the league, and Russell Wilson playing quarterback there, and Baltimore's quarterback is doing it both throwing it and with his legs. So I'm anticipating a shootout here, a high-scoring game. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the over 50.5.
Okay. So I guess it's a recap now. I'm going with the Rams. I'm taking the over in the Minnesota Vikings-Detroit Lions game, and I'm taking the Jaguars.
And I'm doing the Falcons +3, the Niners -10, and I'm going to take the over 50.5 in the Ravens-Seahawks game.
All right, that'll about do it for us. Hey, have a great time watching the MLB playoffs, and good luck with the football games this weekend. I have my fingers crossed to be better than last week. See you next time on the Turnpike.